Okay.
All right, lots of energy for our partner session coming up here at the live forum. Feel free to take a seat. We have Jochen here. He's a pre-sale consultant at Forcam, and he's going to talk about how to enable efficient and sustainable manufacturing. So yeah, feel free to take a seat and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. So our today's session here at the live forum at SAP, the headline we can see already, efficient and sustainable manufacturing. It's a big word, and it starts at the very bottom for us. So the key value what Forcam can provide to you is helping you find your way to your data in your machine park. So we have many companies who have capabilities of talking to different machines, different PLC types, finding signals, giving those signals a meaning. And this is really not a trivial task since 20 years and not until today. Forcam is in the market since about 20 years, and we've learned quite a lot of things during that time. One thing is, of course, being able to talk to those machines. And the second one is to efficiently talk to those machines and apply it to the rest of your machines. We need to get out of the pilot stage, out of a POC, and go into a larger scale, even to a global scale. So when you have solved this, then you really have the possibility to leverage this data in your higher level systems or fuel your AI use cases with this data. So what you can see here is the basic architecture of the layers that have to be deployed in order to fulfill different use cases. On the very bottom, you see the brownfield machines. In the middle layer consists out of our product, our middleware product, the so-called Forcam Force Edge. And on top, you can have existing solutions like ERP system, MES systems, CAQ systems. You can have, in this case here, also the digital manufacturing cloud. Or you can have whatever any other application which consumes machine data. So when we start on the very bottom, we first have different types of machines. You have maybe your CNC machine, you have your coating machines, you have drilling, milling, and so on. And then you have those machines combined with some automation. You have a robot in front of that that's loading the machine. And this machine signals all are, at the first level, quite dumb. They just tell you, yes, I have moved. Yes, the door has closed. Maybe one part has fallen out of the machine. But now you need to bring that together with the production order. You need to bring that together with the tracing solution. You need to bring that together with a whole business use case. Therefore, you need to go here, see what's there, and then compose it here within the so-called machine connectivity model, what we have at the very center of our solution. What we do here, for example, is we cleanse the data, we find out what's really relevant, and this model can then supply this data via the API and fulfill the full business case. The second or the third component here is the so-called machine repository. As I said in the beginning, you need to be efficient in the rollout. You don't want to start all over again in every machine. You have to do it at some point at a very low level, but you want to reuse as much as possible. So during a project, and during our projects in the last 20 years, we have built this repository. In this repository, you can find a lot of knowledge how to connect to different machine types. What are the preconditions at the machine side that need to be met in order to provide the right data to higher level systems. Also, this data can be stored here on the edge layer in a time series database in our data lake, and from there being displayed and provided to higher levels. When we bring that together with the SAP world, we connect to SAP digital manufacturing and also the older SAP ME solutions. And those systems require, as you know, probably they require a standard already. So the standard they require is the OPC UA standard in order to be able to talk to the machine part underneath. So here really the core benefit is providing this OPC UA protocol for also the legacy machines. So when we take, first of all, a kind of a holistic view of everything that's possible, right? So we can compose different use cases according to manufacturing that deliver the business value at the end of the day. One of them can be a standard OEE use case that has in the center, I want to know how my machines were running, when did I have technical downtime, where did I lose valuable production time that I pay for, and why did I lose it? So this can be a first use case. Quite simple, quite straightforward. A second one can be that you want to provide all those information in terms of a supply chain perspective, that you can follow this part through the supply chain and add this information, what you got from the machine, to the data model of the digital twin of your product. This information needs to come somewhere. It needs to come from somewhere. It needs to come, in many cases, from your machine. And therefore, of course, the bridge towards the shop floor is mandatory. Another one, it has a lot of supply chain perspective going towards warehouse, also towards maintenance, and so on and so on. Many products, also many SAP products, can be fueled with this machine data coming from the shop floor. So when we move one step further and have a look at the architecture slide, how could that look like in a scenario with different plans of a company? So of course you have your cloud where your central system is running. You have your analytics cloud, you have all your manufacturing executions, insight, and so on, all happening in that cloud. But then you need to go towards the plants or to the regions where you have your MII running, for example, and also your plant connectivity module of SAP running. And underneath of that, you deploy a little container with ForCamForce Edge in order to provide the machine data of the old machines into the plant connectivity tool of SAP. So what we see here is a high-level view of the ForCamForce Edge. As I already mentioned, you have the capabilities of the plug-in functionality. On the one hand, we're talking about machine data collection. So this is the machine running, does it have a counter, and so on. And the other functionality that is also required, especially for CNC machines, is so-called DNC, Distributed Numerical Control. You need to bring the right NC program into the NC controller of the machine, that it can run the right program to produce the right parts. So those NC programs, they come from higher level systems, they come from a PLM system maybe, yeah, or they're created somewhere, they're placed somewhere, and they need to be brought to this machine, to this NC controller. In the past, people were running around with a USB stick in the company, bringing those NC programs to the machine. The solution we can provide here as a benefit is that you can send those signals and also those programs via ForCamForce Edge towards the NC controllers. On the higher level side, as I said, you can go towards SAP, you can go towards BI solutions to have easy visualizations, but you can also go into a cloud system in order to run your AI applications. we have many requests where companies, also consulting companies, come to us with exactly that request. They know their model, they know their data science, but they do not know where to get this data from. And also where to pre-process this data right at the machine with the correct behavior of the machine. If you just take the raw signals, that can bring you, if you go to an AI project, you need to prepare this data and cleanse this data before it can create any value. And this is exactly one of the first steps we provide in any AI project that runs based on machine data. So, KPIs, especially, for example, OEE KPIs, they are just as good as the input and the base data they are calculated on top. For example, you have, as we have it in the ERP world today, we have as it should be data, but we never know the as it is really data. And based on this machine data coming from the very bottom, we can provide this reality on a very clear and unmisunderstandable way to the systems, and based on that, decisions can be made, which is your bottleneck in a line, which were your major downtimes, and what is really the point where you want to invest your energy, your people power, and also your money in order to improve the system. The second value proposition, as I mentioned so far, is you have this brownfield scenario. Okay, I cannot emphasize this often enough. When you talk about the topic of standardization in machine data collection, it depends on the level and the high level where you're talking about. At one point, they are all machines. Then you come to machine types. Then you come to different control systems. And at the very bottom, you come to different signals. And one piece in this equation is often left aside, and that's the person who has built the machine in the first place. Often when we go into our projects, we find two machines, they are from the same, they look the same, they are from the same age, yeah, but there are different versions of PLC programs running on those controls, which happens to be a difference between those two machines. When you now do not put in a standardization layer between the PLC and the higher level systems, you need to do it differently with every machine. With our solution and the global machine repository, you can standardize that per plant, yeah, and also in many plants next to each other. If you combine that with the value proposition in the first place, this makes the data you get from your machines really comparable. And at the end, it gives you, on management perspective, also the possibility to compare the systems with each other. So now I could give you hopefully a little insight of what we are doing. The details also can be discussed at our presenter over there. At the end, we've put it at the end, Forcam is on the market since 20 years. We have 150 customers. I think we have roughly connected 100,000 machines during those last 20 years. We have big customers, we have small customers, but everybody shares some same problems and solutions that can be provided by Forcam. As I said, we are here at the SAP booth, and if you have more detailed questions, please feel free to join us, discuss your real-life scenarios on a detailed level. And yeah, we are happy to answer all your questions and see how we can help you drive your productivity. Thank you so much, and have a great day at Hannover Fair.